Is your injury during a gallbladder surgery always going to be medical malpractice? Want to know what I'm getting at here? Stay with me as I share with you this very important information. Hello, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm a medical malpractice and childbirth injury attorney practicing law here in the state of Maryland. And I would like to quickly talk with you today about injuries sustained during a laparoscopic gallbladder surgery. I want to back up. And at first, I want to help you understand that when we are talking about bringing a medical malpractice case in the state of Maryland, there are certain things that you have to prove. There are certain elements that you must meet. And those elements essentially are duty, breach of duty, causation, and damages. Those are the four big elements that you have to be able to prove. Now, when we are talking about medical malpractice cases, there are other things that you have to be able to also show. And that is essentially, when we're looking at malpractice, whether your treating doctor fell below the standard of care owed to you, and by falling below that standard of care, that is what caused your damages, the injury, the harm associated with everything. So having that foundation and understanding in general how you prove a medical malpractice case, I'm now going to go ahead and move over to the question, or the big part of this video today, and that is, are all injuries suffered during a gallbladder surgery going to always be essentially medical malpractice? Well, I'm going to give you two examples for you to help really understand what I'm getting at. Okay, so let's say in the first example, the doctor goes in to remove the gallbladder, thinks that they identify the cystic duct and begins to cut, and it is determined that instead of cutting the cystic duct, the doctor then cuts the common bile duct. Well, while in the surgery, in the procedure, the doctor notices the cut, begins to repair the cut, repairs it well. There's no leakage, there's no problems going forward, and finishes the surgery. And afterwards, the doctor lets the patient know that there were some issues that arose, that their common bile duct was cut, but that the doctor was able to repair it and was able to prevent any further issues going on. Well, the patient hears all of that, and the patient is in the hospital, and they're monitoring, and we fast forward in the time, the patient does not suffer any really long-term issues with it. The repair was done the right way. There were no problems, no leakage, no sepsis, none of that occurred. Okay, that's the first example. Let's go to the second example. The second example, same thing. Doctor goes in laparoscopically, thinks that he has identified the cystic duct, but ends up cutting the common bile duct. But in this example, the doctor does not notice that he cut, or that she cut, the common bile duct. The doctor then says that there are no complications, there are no issues for the patient. Removes the gallbladder, does everything, closes the patient up, and sends the patient home on their way. Well, later in time, what begins to happen is the patient then develops problems, complications occur. The patient may then become septic, and there's a whole bunch of other things that begin to happen, and the patient has to come back to the emergency room. The patient has to have future surgeries, a Roux-en-Y has to be done, and all these other things have to be done to the patient. Well, I hope that you can see the difference between these two procedures. In the first procedure, remember, the doctor cut the common bile duct, but noticed it, began to repair it, and the patient did not have any long-term issues. In that example, it's going to probably be hard to get a medical malpractice attorney to help you with that case in that type of example, because the patient does not have any really long-term issues. They were able to heal, the doctor was able to correct everything, and there was no long-term problems for the patient. Let's go to that second example. When we look at that second example, we've got problems all over the place. The doctor, not only did the doctor cut the common bile duct, which he was not supposed to do, but the doctor did not notice it. The doctor did not repair it. The doctor went on ahead like everything was okay, closed the patient up, sent the patient on their way, and the patient then began to develop long-term problems. The patient became septic. The patient then needed further medical treatment, further surgeries, and things of that nature. So I hope that you can see in those two examples why in one instance you may have a strong medical malpractice claim, whereas in the other one you may not. So why have I taken the time today to talk with you about this? Because more than likely, if you are watching this video, you had something happen during a gallbladder surgery. Maybe you did become septic, or maybe you've had to have a Roux-en-Y procedure done, or maybe there's some issues that you've got going on into the future, and now you have questions. Maybe you just want to talk with someone about what happened in your case and whether it might be medical malpractice or maybe it may not be medical malpractice. Well, if you have these types of questions and you wish to speak with me further, this is what I invite you to do. I answer Maryland medical malpractice questions just like yours all the time. What you can do is pick up the phone and give me a call. I can be reached at 301-850-4832, or if you prefer, you can send me an email to medicalinjury@bostonlawllc.com. If you are at my website, you can go ahead and you can search there. The website address is bostonlawllc.com. We've got a whole host of information there that can help you understand medical malpractice issues in the state of Maryland. And before you leave, there is a free e-download that you can take with you. You can download it right there. It's a medical malpractice book. You can take a look at that before you get out of here. All right. That's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the medical malpractice and childbirth injury attorneys here at Boston Law Group, LLC. And we will see you next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.